Sony has always been known for featuring an amazing first-party lineup of exclusive video games that offered quality, variety, and a massive incentive for players to buy their consoles. After all, you don't just appear out of nowhere and manage to outdo companies like Sega and Nintendo, and even Microsoft, unless you have something that they don't. But when you look at Sony in the last few generations of gaming versus Sony today, there is an undeniable difference between the quality of first-party games that they have to offer. Up until the PS4, the company was still trying to keep most of their franchises active, such as Killzone, Resistance, Little Big Planet, and of course, Infamous. The very first Infamous game came out in 2009 on the PS3, and it was an instant hit, thanks to its engaging gameplay, exciting story, set of characters, extremely fun traversal that made exploration of the cities smoother than other open-world games at the time. The series went on to have a sequel, a spin-off expansion, then another sequel, and a standalone DLC tied to it. What seemed like the next big Sony franchise was then just left in limbo, as we haven't had another new game for the last 11 years. So what caused this franchise to disappear, and will we ever see another Infamous game or its remasters? Let's take a look at what we know. For a lot of games, the reason behind why they were abandoned are clear, such as flopping, or having controversial content, or a rights issue. But surprisingly, none of these happened in the case of Infamous. Infamous Second Son sold 1 million copies within just a few days of its release, and by 2019, it had sold about 6 million, which is a pretty good number for a game that did not really feature any of the characters that people knew and loved from the franchise. However, Sony seems to be following a specific strategy right now in order to maximize their profits as much as possible, and that is to only focus on games that can sell over 10 million copies. The reason behind that is how expensive video games are to make today, and you cannot cut any corners either, or players complain right away, especially in terms of graphics and large open worlds, both of which are crucial things for the Infamous series. This strategy can be seen in how Sony is currently only focusing on franchises like The Last of Us, God of War, Horizon, and Marvel's Spider-Man. Sure, they drop a Ratchet and Clank here and there, but their primary focus seems to be on their largest moneymakers right now. Marvel's Spider-Man 3 is in development. Horizon is always getting new projects, such as the Lego game and a live-action movie, and even other projects that we know of are similar, such as the upcoming Wolverine game, for example. There is no sign of games like Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Infamous, Killzone, Resistance, and a whole lot more, because Sony simply doesn't want to invest in games that may not sell dozens of copies just in the moment. It's a very unfortunate state that the industry is in right now, because variety is the spice of life, but at the same time, you can somewhat understand where Sony is coming from, given how inflated the industry is right now. After the release of Infamous Second Son, Sucker Punch was appointed to try something a bit different, as they spent the next 6 years working on the development of Ghost of Tsushima. And as soon as that game came out, it quickly became one of Sony's most successful first-party video games, as it sold more than 13 million copies, which is twice of anything what Second Son made. From then on, it was pretty clear that Sony would rather have them make more of that instead of going back to Infamous or Sly Cooper, which is also developed by Sucker Punch. As of right now, the studio is developing Ghost of Yotei, which was revealed recently and is set to come out this year for the PS5. So we can throw any potential sequel or remake out the window. Sure, Sony quietly made Cole's Legacy DLC for Infamous Second Son for free, but that felt more like a bittersweet goodbye to the franchise than something of a gift for the fans who supported the franchise over the years. There was a movie adaptation announced over a decade ago, which seems to have been cancelled silently ages ago as well. Similar can be said for a remaster, as currently there are no plans or even rumors that Sony is interested in bringing Infamous back to the world. The only way you can play for the first two games is by streaming them using PS Plus services, and that's about it. While God of War franchise hasn't been remastered yet either, besides the third game, at least we have some very believable rumors about that happening sometime soon. But with Infamous, it's nothing but crickets and awkward silence. That being said, never say never. Franchises that were dead for longer have resurfaced when we least expected to see them, so there's still a chance that Infamous comes back too. But Sony seems to have its priorities straight at the moment, and it might be a long, long time before we see Infamous come back to life with a lightning strike.